I don't know if you guys have been really catching up with the Kyle Rittenhouse trial, but I've been absolutely enamored with it, okay? And I know I haven't really talked about it on the site, or not the site, I don't have a website, on the channel here, but yeah, just because it's been kind of a dumpster fire, really, for the prosecution. They've been bringing all of their witnesses here last week, and then today, the day's not quite over, at least at the time of recording. Probably by the time that I publish it, they'll be wrapped up for the day. But yeah, they had a whole bunch of people, and I could have been running it down every day, but really at the end of it, it's just been a whole bunch of worthless people coming up there and just shoring up the defenses, really their case. Honestly, it's just been catastrophic is the best way to put it so far. It's because, well, the prosecution has a tough case to make against Kyle Rittenhouse. It just seems like cut and dry self-defense. So I figured today we'll just talk about the prosecution's star witness, okay? The only guy who was shot by Rittenhouse, who ended up, unfortunately, pulling through at the end of this, and that is Gaige Grosskreutz, right? He was the guy who had his, I think, right bicep vaporized, yeah. But also, at the same time, yeah, if he didn't have his arm fucking turned into pink mist, that arm was also holding a Glock and pointed directly at Kyle as well. But we'll get into that. We have another article pulled up here, but we got the New York Post's rundown, and this is a good breakdown of how the defense spent the first couple of hours just setting this up, setting up Gaige to be just the second coming of Jesus Christ. Oh, I went to school to become a EMT because all I wanted to do was just help people, and I had a tattoo where the bullet went through on my arm that said do no harm, and then instead of NO it said KNO because I'm just a good man and I would just run towards danger and help people out until I had an opportunity to just sucker somebody in and then try to blow his fucking brains out because I'm really just kind of an Antifa scumbag. Not me, that's Gaige. But anyways, the lone survivor allegedly shot. No, okay, listen, the way that you guys frame this to begin with, the lone survivor, like Kyle was just out there fucking yeeting people left, right, and center. Let's just run this down again. Kyle killed 2 people, and then, you know what, helped you out with that armectomy in the middle of the street of August 25th, 2020, okay? Kyle, earlier in the night, got a pedophile. He got a domestic abuser, somebody who was going to, and I'll quote Anthony Huber, okay, held a knife up to his sister's stomach, said he was going to gut her like a pig, cordoned off his family, and forced them to do work around the house. He was a bag of shit, and he deserved exactly what he got for trying to fucking take Kyle's head off his shoulders with a skateboard. But, oh yeah, and the pedophile, Joseph Rosenbaum, yeah, he was the, first one on the night. Huber was the second one, and then Gaige was, well, he was the finale. And yeah, he didn't do the prosecution any favors on this one. So yeah, the lone survivor allegedly shot by Rittenhouse. Nobody's denied that he shot him. So allegedly, you don't need to have that little disclaimer there, NYP. During a night of mayhem, a night of riot in Kenosha, by the way, took the stand Monday and emotionally described how he feared for his life after watching the teen fatally shoot another man at close range. Yeah, really fucking, here's the world's smallest violin. Gaige Grosskreutz, 27, a trained medic. Oh, by the way, yeah, I had all of this EMT training. He wasn't an EMT at the time. Yeah, really does, suck, but I did all this training, and I worked on a private ambulance. It's like, oh, okay, cool. But what are you doing now? Oh, you're just basically an activist. Anyways, trained medic who had provided aid to around 75... Oh, aid at a 75 protest. No, he attended that. That was never a part of his testimony. I listened to everything, but okay, you guys do you. Denied that he was trying to kill Rittenhouse. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, this is when prosecution was giving direct questioning. Yeah, he said that, I denied, I didn't do anything, okay. But yeah, denied he was trying to kill Rittenhouse, then 17, by pulling a pistol on him after the teen fatally shot 2 men in the streets of Kenosha, Wisconsin. A round of applause for Kyle Rittenhouse. That's not the kind of person I am. That's not why I was out there 75 days prior to that. Why I spent up until that point my time, my money, my education, providing care for people, Grosskreutz said in a Wisconsin court as his voice was breaking. God, yeah, oh yeah, my heart's breaking for this asshole. It's not who I am, and definitely not somebody that I would want to become. And he would later contradict that, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Grosskreutz testified that night he heard a series of gunshots by the time that Rittenhouse fatally shot his first victim, pedophile Joseph Rosenbaum, rather. You know, the guy with the very famous sound clip, shoot me, one word that you can't say on the internet. At least I can't. I'm not dark enough for that. After seeing people running northbound and then hearing people yelling medic, I started running southbound, okay, towards what I presumed at the time to be the origins of the gunshot. Yeah, and again, if you guys run back the testimony, if you guys want to watch it on your own time, again, he always tries to come off seeming a lot more intelligent than he actually is. Oh yes, the individual, and I was running northbound and southbound. I learned a couple of big words, and I was expertly coached over the weekend so I could properly provide my testimony first thing in the morning to the fresh jury. Cool, we can see directly through that, especially on cross-examination, while filming on his phone for, Facebook Live. And also, he was a non-biased observer for the ACLU. That's the reason why he was filming on his phone, by the way, filling in some blanks that we'll get to as well. Blanks, things Kyle Rittenhouse didn't have in his rifle. Grosskreutz began running alongside Rittenhouse, who was holding an AR-style rifle. Yes, because AR-15 is not a platform of rifle. Categorization, whatever. AR stands for Armalite rifle. But whatever. Yeah, that's what dumb people... Oh, big scary black rifle, right? Yeah, exactly. What are you doing? You shot somebody, Grosskreutz could be heard saying on the video, as well as many other spicy things. Grosskreutz testified Monday that he heard others shouting that Rittenhouse just shot a guy. Yeah, in the moment, I thought the defendant was an active shooter. Yeah, that's why he also said at that exact same time when he said, "What happened? What, did you just shoot somebody?" And he also said, "I'm going to the police." Thanks for leaving that out, New York Post. Again, I like you guys, but every once in a while, you just throw a curveball in there, and it's really strange. In the moment, I thought the defendant, yes, was an active shooter. Grosskreutz was wearing a hat that night that said paramedic. We see a lot of Antifa people try to dress up as either paramedics or press, and you know what? Hey, it's very easy to get the little press-on stickers for the back of your gear that your mother can help you out with, but hey, this guy had paramedic, so that means he's definitely there to help people and not pull a Glock that he didn't have a license for and that he was illegally carrying around, and then also lied at a couple of different sworn pieces of testimony that he had that night. But yeah, no, okay, cool. That's what he was using, I guess, because if he didn't have anybody to treat, he was definitely going to create somebody to treat. And was carrying medical supplies as well as a loaded pistol. Yes, again, yeah, he had at one point in time, he did have a concealed carry permit. It had just expired. And he also had a DUI conviction that was in there as well that may or may not have played into that as well, but that was never delved into because it really didn't need it to be. That's not grammatically correct, but do forgive me. This is all just off the top of me head. I believe in the Second Amendment, and I'm for the people's rights to carry and bear arms. Well, just one of them now. Sucks to suck. He said of his decision to be armed, and that night was no different than any other day. It's keys, phone, wallet, gun. Is it normal that you go to a dangerous situation, a place that you would anticipate needing your gun, or what? Anyways, he said that he then witnessed Rittenhouse fatally shoot Anthony Huber at close range. Again, a round of applause for Kyle. I thought there was a high likelihood I would get myself shot. Again, New York Post takes liberties with the testimony there, adding that he then saw the teen reload his weapon, which is no, not at all what he testified to. He said re-rack, which is clear the chamber, even though there was no casing found and there was no evidence that actually happened. But yeah, no, he reloaded the weapon. That's not what happened. In that moment, I felt I had to do something to try to prevent myself from being killed. Asked what was going through his mind as he pulled his gun from his holster or his waistband. Whatever. He said, that I was going to die. Why did you have to engage with him? You heard he was going towards the police, okay? But whatever, he needs to be the most sympathetic at this point, and that's how he was being set up with to begin with. Before he could fire his weapon, Rittenhouse opened fire and struck him in the arm. Yeah, it was not like he wasn't trying to point his gun about 3 feet away from his head or anything, but yeah, no, Kyle Rittenhouse totally, completely unprovoked, the way that you guys are setting it up here. Under cross-examination Monday, Grosskreutz was hammered for not initially revealing to authorities that he was armed during the encounter with Rittenhouse. But we'll get to that, okay? Obviously. And I don't know what's up with the New York Post, but they are not really giving the full story, okay? Listen, we could go through the rest of them, but as you can see for the cross, and it was about an hour long, the cross-examination was, they don't do a very good job. And we're going to go ahead and give you a little bit more context as to who Gaige Grosskreutz really is. All right, so we got Andy No here with a couple of little tweets here, and unfortunately we got to use some Twitter. We got Gaige Grosskreutz, the person armed with a pistol who went after Rittenhouse and was shot in the arm. Again, round of applause. Says he's an ACLU legal observer. He has a long criminal history that includes a gun-related conviction. Oh, didn't know that. David Cole, ACLU legal director, previously called for gun restrictions at protests. Very interesting. Let's see what else he has. Okay, yeah, Gaige Grosskreutz says he's an ACLU legal observer and he was broadcasting live on Facebook. Yes, true. Restrictions on carrying guns promote free speech by keeping the public square safe. Protesters shouldn't have to worry that their speech will prompt not more speech but a bullet. Cool. ACLU sucks. Anyways, yeah, we're just gonna hop down a little bit. So, but yeah, what was Gaige Grosskreutz doing on Twitter recently too? Like over the weekend recently. The confirmed Twitter account of key Rittenhouse prosecution witness Gaige Grosskreutz was shot in the arm by the team after producing a pistol and was going to shoot. And his words, what he said to his at the time roommate, empty his clip into him. That was his one regret on the night, that he didn't get the opportunity to do that. But then again, he's a good boy and he didn't do nothing. Shows he's been tweeting about the case and the trial. Yeah, it really sucks. Like nobody would fucking find this. Okay, Jack Posobiec. Okay, the Jacob Blake arrest is also what led to the burning of Kenosha and Kyle Rittenhouse. True. Cry about it, pussy. There you go. Gaige Grosskreutz, a member of the People's Revolution movement. Yeah. Oh, no. He's not a member of it. He said in his testimony he's just affiliated with it. What's the difference? Chased Kyle Rittenhouse and pointed a loaded handgun at him. He was illegally in possession of the gun. He later admitted that he regretted not killing Kyle. Yes, exactly. Ha. Cope harder, soy boy. Again, this is Gaige Grosskreutz. Don't you find it a little ironic that he's calling somebody else a soy boy? Anyways, there he is in the picture. Antifa at work. Yes, definitely. But anyways, yeah, so what was damning about the cross-examination? Literally everything. It's like an hour of court porn, and if you'd just like to check out one little snippet of it, feel free to do that right there. You can just click around at any point in time there, and you'll just see him destroying his own credibility, and you can also find some very adorable screenshots of the two lead prosecutors, Binger and a 45-gallon drum in a suit. Poor fitting suit. Just face palm, faces are turning red, and you can literally hear the flop sweat forming on these guys' forehead. It's adorable because this case is just so obvious, a clear instance of self-defense, okay? It was like that from the beginning, and it's becoming even more apparent as we continue to go on. Like, I don't know, man. I'm really enjoying catching up and just watching this trial because it's just a real disaster. Unfortunately, it's just kind of boring to recap, but this one right here, yeah, this is just when the prosecution just went up in flames. Man says he was pointing gun at Rittenhouse when teenager shot him. That's the overview. Here's the specifics. The man who survived a gunshot wound by Kyle Rittenhouse in Wisconsin last year, there's no later to this, on November 4th. Said on November 4th. No, he said that today, November 8th. Typo. That he was pointing his gun at the teenager when the then 17-year-old shot him. Witness Gaige Grosskreutz, who was one of 3 people shot by Rittenhouse during protests against racial injustice in Kenosha. Yeah. Jacob Blake, who was, going back to his vehicle to acquire a knife and was unresponsive to police officers. Unfortunately, he survived. In Kenosha, was the only survivor, was testifying of Rittenhouse's murder trial in Kenosha when the shootings happened on August 25th, 2020. It wasn't until you pointed your gun at him, advanced on him with your gun, that he fired, right? Corey Chirafisi, something like that. He's one of the co-defense lawyers. He's the one who kind of looks like Agent 47 with the thin tie and the thin lapels. And it's an apt comparison because the guy is an assassin when he's doing cross. It's rather stunning, to be completely honest. Part of, Rittenhouse's defense team, asked Grosskreutz. Correct. Oh, yeah. It gets worse. Rittenhouse had earlier fired on Joseph Rosenbaum. Again, always take the opportunity to clap for the death of a pedophile, who witnesses said was acting aggressively and lunged at the teenager in the parking lot of a car dealership. Rosenbaum died from his wounds. Yay! After Rittenhouse took off running, he was attacked by Anthony Huber, who swung a skateboard at his head. And then there was also, a jump kick man, who has yet to be identified and probably never will, who jumped over Kyle Rittenhouse and tried to, kick his fucking dome in. Rittenhouse was, also is accused of fatally shooting Huber. He did shoot him, and he did die. It's just, self-defense. Grosskreutz, 27, then moved towards Rittenhouse while holding a gun. Oh no, but he had his hands up, and he had a Glock in his hands until he got 3 feet away, and then he started to wrap his hand around, and he was going to execute Kyle. Video footage showed, and Rittenhouse appeared to shoot him. He certainly did. Grosskreutz had heard gunshots from several blocks away and sprinted towards the sounds. He said he thought Rittenhouse was an active shooter, prompting him to act. But even though he was within an arm's length of Rittenhouse, he expressed ambivalence about the idea of shooting the teen, claiming that preserving his own life while also taking the life of another is not something that I'm capable or comfortable of doing, but something that you would have absolutely done if given the opportunity. Once again, Thomas Binger, the lead prosecutor on this one, the guy with the stupid lapel pins. What was it on Friday? He had from fucking Star Wars the Rebel Alliance symbol, and today he had, I think, a Millennium Falcon pin. What an embarrassment. Wondered why Grosskreutz hadn't fired first. That's not the kind of person I am. Yeah, whatever. Jacob Marshall, a roommate of Grosskreutz, posted on Facebook. Yeah, here's something that kind of damages exactly his own testimony, because we already went over that, and I've alluded to this one as well. Post on Facebook shortly after the shooting that Grosskreutz conveyed to him that his only regret was not killing the kid and hesitating to pull the gun before emptying the entire mag into him. Yup. Grosskreutz denied making those comments. It was literally right there, and he took a picture and all that, but whatever. Marshall is scheduled to testify on November 10th, this Wednesday. It's going to get even worse from here. If it doesn't get fucking ended right shortly, which it kind of should, because I don't really see what kind of a case the prosecution has at this point. Like, what are they going to do? Continue to discredit themselves and every other witness that is up there? Cool, because the facts just squarely rest with the defense at this point. Political prosecution's gone wrong. Rittenhouse, 18, had been in Kenosha to help defend businesses against the rioters and medically assist people in distress. Grosskreutz, 23. Is he 23 or 27? Somebody got it wrong. Who has worked as a paramedic. Yeah, exactly. Not an active paramedic, as much as they wanted you to believe that right now, and that's the way that they framed it. Worked as a paramedic. Also went to the city to help with medical situations. The Milwaukee resident, who was active in the so-called social justice protests in the wake of George Floyd's death, acknowledged that his concealed carry permit was expired, meaning that he couldn't legally carry the .40 caliber. What is his boyfriend's handgun he had with him that night. I believe in the Second Amendment. I'm for the people's right to carry and bear arms. I'm not going to make the same joke again, even though it's right there. And that night is no different than any other days. Yeah, keys, wallet, phone, gun. Chirafisi pressed the witness on how he'd told the officers after the shooting that his Glock fell from his belt clip. Yeah, again, another lie. You didn't take the Glock out of your back here and run with it, he asked. I did, Grosskreutz said, so it didn't fall off your waist. It is in your hand, the lawyer said. That's correct. Yeah, lying, because he also has a $10 million civil case against the city of Kenosha, which he absolutely just destroyed while he was in the witness box. Really does suck. Grosskreutz said he didn't see his comments to the police as a lie. I don't know how you couldn't interpret it that way, but you do you. And also pushed back when Chirafisi asserted he was chasing Rittenhouse. How else would you describe somebody running away from you and then you also pursuing with your gun in your hand? I don't know. Actively following, he had a bunch of different colorful words in order to obfuscate from using the term chase, but at the end of the day, he chased them. Okay, let's be fair. Chirafisi noted that Grosskreutz quickly brought a $10 million civil suit against the city and county of Kenosha for allegedly failing to keep the peace during the rioting, and that there is no mention of Grosskreutz holding a weapon when he was shot. That is nowhere in that civil case, okay? Or the civil complaint, or anything else, really. It's tragic. He's a really tragic witness. That part you left out, right? Just like your arm. That's correct, Grosskreutz said. Grosskreutz was struck in the right bicep. Unfortunately. Yeah, unfortunately, Kyle just couldn't aim just a couple of feet to the left. Would have saved us this painful few hours of testimony first thing in the morning. But then again, hey, it was a nice running partner this morning. Had a couple of good laughs out of it. But again, we'll probably dive back into this trial at some point because I'm enamored with it. I think it's a lot of fun to watch, and I'd encourage you guys to do the same. And if not, yeah, just keep an eye out for more coverage of this as the days go on in this trial. It's scheduled to go for 2 weeks. We're about at the halfway point. By the end of the day, it'll probably be closer to heading for jury deliberations closer to the end of the week. So we might get a result by the weekend. I would imagine so. Anyways, but with that said, I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.